Welcome into Small Talk Sports. I'm your host, Wyatt Wells, this week. We got Logan Windsor along with us. Super Bowl post-weekend Tuesday. How we feeling? How you doing, Logan?
Feeling excited. I had a really good weekend. I personally really enjoyed the Super Bowl. You know, Super Bowl Sunday, it's almost like a holiday.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't... It was about a middle-of-the-road Super Bowl. You know, it wasn't like a crazy scoring fest like, you might want to. But it wasn't, at least, that Patriots-Rams Super Bowl last year. So, right there in the middle.
Definitely not. I mean, we'll be talking a lot today. We'll be talking about the All-Star Game changes that are coming up in the NBA. We'll talk about coaching changes involving Mark D'Antoni. But first, we will start about that big game. The Kansas City Chiefs are your Super Bowl 54 champions, winning 31-20. Patrick Mahomes had an excellent game, like always, and Jimmy Garoppolo, kind of struggled.
Now, you can't say that Patrick Mahomes had a great game like always. He also had his fair share of struggles in the first half. That 49ers defense was getting to him a little bit early.
I mean, he did have two picks.
Two picks. And a pick literally 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. Once I saw that one, of course, as we saw, is it really a Chiefs victory anymore if they don't come back by double digits now? I mean, it's like their third straight game. But once he threw that pick, I was kind of like, it might be over. And then, of course, naturally, don't even need the entire fourth quarter to become the first team to score 21 points in the Super Bowl in a fourth quarter.
It's the most Chiefs way to win a game.
It's the most Chiefs way, and then sadly, San Francisco on the opposite end, on the bad end of that stat, hadn't given up 21 points in a single quarter since week 3 of last season.
Well, you know what was interesting? I felt like, to start that game, Patrick Mahomes was not settled in. I think Nick Bosa and that entire defensive line was getting to him.
Oh, Nick Bosa was absolutely dominating his matchups.
Oh, yeah, and what's interesting is that he wasn't just going on the outside like he usually does. He was doing stunt moves where he was going actually to the middle of the line, which was forcing Patrick Mahomes to back away in the pocket.
Yeah.
But towards the end of that game in the fourth quarter, almost every time he snapped it, Mahomes would leave the pocket immediately, getting away from Nick Bosa. And all of a sudden, he had plenty of time. Like on the iconic play of the game, the 44-yarder to Tyreek Hill in 3rd and 15. He got away from Nick Bosa there. And once he started learning how to do that throughout the game, it seemed to work. Because, to be honest, we look at the opponents that the Chiefs have played the last year, not a lot of incredible rushers against them.
No, and you could definitely tell that the Chiefs just needed to kind of settle in before that this Chiefs defense did come to play. They were, playing very aggressively, getting to Patrick Mahomes. He was misfiring on some of those throws. But the problem is, once you get the 49ers defense into that fourth quarter, their stats throughout the entire season have been stellar. But then once you start getting that pass rush to slow down, due to the just people being tired on that field, their efficiency actually drops down to 27th in the league.
That's interesting.
I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Patrick Mahomes and they were able to get big spurt plays just in that fourth quarter. That defense was so tired and that speed was able to kill them.
Well, you want to talk about the Niners defense. I mean, one of them that plays wasn't really a touchdown. There was a Damian Williams garbage time touchdown at the end of the game. I don't want to count that. The Niners defense put themselves in a chance to win the game. Jimmy Garoppolo, 4 minutes left, down 4. That has to play a role. Garoppolo had a chance to go down the field and lead one of those iconic Super Bowl drives to win. And he couldn't get a throw past 5 yards.
No, he barely missed Kittle on that game-changing play that would have maybe been able to seal the game for them, just 2 yards short. Just if he was able to just get it on there, it might be talking about a different ball game.
But I mean, we're not talking about a regular season game or maybe even a wild card game. This is a Super Bowl. You gotta make those throws. That deep ball that could have won the game. So Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have just won their first Super Bowl in their first 2 years together.
Yeah, Andy Reid, took him 22 seasons or so to finally get that from Philadelphia.
Gets that double cheeseburger now.
His trophy wife. Not too bad of a night for that man. And then, of course, Patrick Mahomes, the same thing, gets to get his high school dream of going to Disneyland after winning a Super Bowl, becomes the youngest quarterback to win the Super Bowl MVP. What a night for the Chiefs.
What a night. But what's interesting is that in 2 years together, Mahomes has won an MVP, gone to back-to-back Pro Bowls, Andy Reid's been Coach of the Year.
Almost been one play last year away from another Super Bowl.
That's what I mean. Like two AFC Championship games in a row. Where does the future hold for this duo?
I mean, Pat Mahomes was quick to kind of squander the dynasty talk so early. He was talking about how they need to win another championship at least before they can start making that claim. But it's set up nicely for them. I mean, when you look at the AFC, who's going to challenge the Chiefs right now? Depending on where Tom Brady ends up, who knows? Maybe something will happen there. But they've got the pieces together. If they can keep this team together, that's going to be the biggest thing. And his contract is going to factor into this. Is he going to kind of do what Tom Brady has done over his course of his career? Take the discount for the team in order for him to chase more championships.
I mean, most people, when they come up with a contract, they don't say, like, oh, I want to stay with this team. Mahomes has said he wants to be a Chief for life.
Yeah.
He's been all about that for a very long time. So you're setting it up almost like, I don't want to compare it. But when you look at when Brady and Belichick started, back in the early 2000s, they had a young team. They had a quarterback who was under a rookie contract. They had a head coach who had major success in the past with like Bill Parcells and all them. And you had an AFC that was very, very weak. We're getting to that point now where a couple years ago the AFC was really strong. But I mean, you got Big Ben in Pittsburgh, who's old. Hopefully Tom Brady is still in New England, who is still old. You got Rivers leaving the Chargers, which has always been one of those like playoff teams that like is a threat. There are two teams in the AFC. There are the Texans and there's the Chiefs. That is the end of the list right now.
Yeah, I'd agree. Unless the Colts can make a splash in free agency or something.
The Colts would be there if Andrew Luck stayed.
Yeah, or if they get another pretty competent quarterback.
But there's not a lot. Like if they went after Rivers, that's actually interesting. If they went after Rivers, they would have a chance at the Super Bowl next year.
Mm-hmm. Moving on. Mark D'Antonio, fans of the Big Ten, you can rejoice. After 13 seasons with the Michigan State Spartans, 114 wins, 3 Big Ten championships, a Rose Bowl win, and a berth in the 2015 College Football Playoff, it's finally over. Mark D'Antonio steps down to spend more time with his family and end his career as a Spartan.
As a Badger fan, when Urban Meyer left Ohio State, I had a celebration. It was a great day.
As we all did.
It's a great day. I feel different about this because I've had a lot of respect for what he's done with that college.
He's a phenomenal coach. I mean, he's just been, he's not really been a very huge, personality. He's just a good guy who's able to get your players ready.
I mean, Michigan State has never been known as one of the best colleges of all time, best college football teams of all time.
And the closest they've been to that recently it was the Connor Cook days, and of course those Rose Bowl wins.
But I mean,
the upsets against Ohio
here's the
State.
thing: they still made a college football playoff, and there's a lot of great college football teams that have yet to make it.
Before they ran into the Alabama buzz.
Okay. They made it. Auburn, have they made it?
Yeah, but is Michigan State playing Alabama in the regular season?
Okay, but there's only been 2 Big Ten teams to make it to the college football playoff, and they're one of them. And most people don't see them as a top 2 program in that conference.
No.
You see Wisconsin, you see Michigan, obviously, and there's a lot of other teams that even Penn State lately. You gotta respect what he did. He was one of the best recruiters in the Midwest, absolutely, and he was pretty consistent. Even the last couple of years, getting over 500 and getting to a bowl game, that's huge.
Well, he was also consistent in his back-to-back 7-6 seasons. I mean,
that's what I mean, though.
Coming in this off-season, then that's the problem. 7-6 the last 2 years, kind of hitting a plateau. You're needing to make coaching changes. You don't really make coaching changes. You kind of just reshuffle what you already have. It kind of seemed like the right time. If not this year, it's going to be coming down the year. But another issue that's kind of arising, and it's bubbling, but we're not yet confirmed or sure. D'Antonio the sketchy part was he did step down hours after allegations came up from the Michigan State football program. D'Antonio is the subject of a lawsuit filed against the school by former Spartan staffer Curtis Blackwell, who is seeking more than $5 million in damages for wrongful termination. He alleges that D'Antonio committed multiple NCAA recruiting violations. Among those allegations are that D'Antonio orchestrated employment for the parents of 2 Michigan State football players with the school's mega donor, Bob Scandalaris. Additionally, the suit claims Blackwell accompanied D'Antonio on an in-home visit for a 5-star recruit when Blackwell was not authorized to conduct an off-campus visit. So, NCAA is looking into this right now. It just kind of broke the news today. The timing is not well. Do you think this would have an impact on his legacy?
I think it's just become so known these days. I think you and me can agree that every coach does something like this. It's about just whether they get caught or not. The series of him being terminated because of that, we don't know. We can't comment on that because we obviously don't have all the information. Sometimes these suits come out, people don't step down because of this. They step down and then this pops up because their name's in the news and it's easy for them to get circulation, whoever's suing Mark. I mean, I'm sure every school does it, so I don't think it'll hurt his legacy whatsoever.
Yeah, it's bad timing. You just hate to see that. I mean, it would be one thing if he's just stepping down, retiring almost, but hopefully it's not because he wanted to get ahead of this, before he had to be kicked out or something, they're giving him a chance to leave a hero before being, kicked out as someone who was doing something wrong. But
for sure.
I agree with you. I mean, as much as we hopefully don't want to discover that our favorite teams are probably doing the same things, it could be happening. So it's such a hard system to judge, and that's just not for us. Luke Fickell, Cincinnati's head coach, is considered to be the front runner right now per multiple sources from there. So a good possible hire. I don't disagree with it. I just have to see where it's gonna go.
Absolutely.
Anyways, moving on to another coaching change. This time from college to the NBA. New York Knicks fans, I think you're starting to get your wish. They're not selling the team, but President Steve Mills has been fired.
Yeah. The Knicks are one of the most worst run franchises, I think, in sports right now. I think it's very apparent to anyone who watches that team. Going into free agency this year, Mills was expected to sign KD and Kyrie. He was expected to get Kevin Durant. He was expected to get the super team.
Oh, don't forget Zion.
And Zion. They were supposed to get the first pick. Instead, they went to Brooklyn, a team that has no history, no reason to go there whatsoever.
And in their backyard.
It
could have been like, he went to the Celtics, he went to the Raptors, who knows? But to go to Brooklyn,
it's just a knife. It's twisting the knife in the back.
It's just like, what did Knicks fans? What did you do? What did you do to anger the sports gods and make your franchise just seem to be the black hole of just awfulness?
Well, what they did was that if they didn't get those guys, they're like, okay, you know what? This is gonna be a developmental year. We'll trade for draft picks and we'll develop our team. Or we could sign 3 old power forwards. And that's what the Knicks did when they signed Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, and Julius Randle.
Oh, don't forget, let's just get rid of Porzingis.
Yeah, let's just... We'll get rid of Porzingis so we can draft R.J. Barrett, which R.J. Barrett's been playing great.
Yeah, the Knicks, 1536, third worst mark in the Eastern Conference. It's almost laughable that they are not the worst one of the conference. And then this isn't Mills' first time either trying this out. This is his second stint after rejoining the Knicks back in 2013, after he was president originally for sucking. Comes back, continues to suck. Since 2013, franchise is 178-365. Worst record in the NBA since then.
Yes.
You just gotta hope that there's a complete overhaul. We heard that.
Wait. You just said we hope. Why do we care?
Oh, I don't care, but I'm trying to speak from Knicks fans.
I don't think Knicks fans care anymore.
They just want their team to be good.
They just want to watch their team and smile.
Scott Perry is going to oversee basketball operations in the interim, but they want to go after you, Jerry. But with his contract with the Raptors kind of still really in the middle of it, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be likely.
And that's hard for sure. Yeah. And we're now going to move on to our debate segments. We have 2 today. The first is going to be discussing head coach of the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan.
I don't envy that man. That's a rough couple of years for him.
So Shanahan this year was the head coach in the Niners, and they were up by 10 points in the fourth quarter. They lost.
Granted, they didn't start losing until about halfway through the fourth quarter either.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like a meltdown from the start to the finish. No, you had you got extra time.
Yeah.
You milked that clock in the fourth quarter and still blew it.
And then obviously, if you aren't aware, Kyle Shanahan was also the offensive
28-3.
He was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons.
28-3.
When they lost Super Bowl 51 after leading. What was the score of that game?
28-3.
28-3, and they lost that game.
Have something in my throat.
So my question. So there's 2 topics here. Number 1, is this a coincidence? And 2, how much does this actually affect Shanahan?
If this is a coincidence, this is the worst coincidence in the history of sport. I mean, besides the Bills probably going to the Super Bowl 4 times and losing, I mean, this just sucks.
Yeah. Well, want to hear something great? Did you know that in the 54 years of the Super Bowl, there have been 2 teams to blow a 10-point fourth quarter lead?
Both have been led by Shanahan. Yeah, the Patriots one is the first worst, is like the best comeback for a sports team, and then the second one is this game.
Which, it's hard to say it was a comeback when you saw how fiery Patrick Mahomes was. My stance is that I don't know how they come back so quickly. How do they do it? Here's how I see it.
It's that offense.
It's not the offense. It's people criticize McCarthy of the Packers for years. When we had leads, we ran the ball and we tried to milk the clock, and then all of a sudden, after 3 quarters, our lead might be close to being gone. Shanahan does the complete opposite. He tries to, how fast can we get our offense off the field?
He's a very conservative play caller, and then it's just, he doesn't know how to manage a clock.
He doesn't. So
this happened against the Ravens earlier in the season.
There was a time where the offense was on the field for less than 30 seconds in that game. They didn't run the ball. They decided to get the ball through Jimmy Garoppolo for some reason.
That fourth quarter play, the interception they had that almost would have sealed the game, 3 and out, punt right on that next drive, and then it just all went downhill from there. 46-0 outscored in the fourth quarter in both Super Bowls.
So I don't think this is a coincidence. I think this is just Kyle Shanahan doesn't know how to game, which he's a great head coach. He's a top 5 coach in the league.
I think it's just a bad. It's a bad consistency. You know, because you look at it, because sure, you can't blame that entire Super Bowl, the Patriots come back, on Kyle Shanahan. Just like you can't put everything on him today or on their loss a couple days ago. But there's one thing that just is constant, and it's him. And it's not a good look.
So I still see him speaking of his legacy, I still see him as a top 5 coach in the league, almost top 3. Does this affect how you see Kyle Shanahan now that it's happened again?
It doesn't really change what I thought of him from the beginning, but I mean, for me, anytime he shows up in a Super Bowl in a big game, I'm gonna think about those games. It's just gonna be in my mind,
and that's gonna hurt him.
It's just I don't know how you get past that. The only way to do it is to win a Super Bowl,
which they might have the chance because that team's really good.
Moving on, all-star lineups. Got some things going on.
Oh yeah, Wyatt, did you like the All-Star game where it was just the best players in the entire league dumping on each other in incredible fashion?
Absolutely.
Shut up. No, you didn't. So we're going to change it. We're going to change it because you didn't like it.
But I did like it.
No, you didn't. You didn't like it.
But
so we're going to change it completely. So here are the new rules for the new All-Star game. For each quarter is going to be its own game almost. So in the first quarter, whoever has the most points in the first quarter will win $100,000 for charity. Then in the second quarter, the score will reset back to 0-0, and they'll do the same thing again. Highest score wins $100,000 for charity. They will do that also in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, what they're going to do is that they're going to combine all the scores of those 3 quarters, okay? So let's say the combined score is 100 to 94, okay? That's the score. They're going to add 24 to that for Kobe Bryant, and that will be almost a target score.
Amen.
To the leading score. So they'll add 24 to 100 or 24 to 115, wherever the score ends up being. And then the first team to get to that number wins the game.
Okay, I mean, I like that little wrinkle, you know, it's not a huge game-changing thing, it's just something a little interesting to honor Kobe by, just one of the many ways they plan to during that game.
If they're doing this wrinkle for Kobe, to quickly find a way to like integrate Kobe, that's one thing. If they're trying to change the All-Star game, I think they're changing the wrong game.
Yeah.
You gotta get bigger names in the dunk contest and the three-point contest.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, why? Do you know the 4 names in the dunk contest this year?
I'm not all the committed ones, no.
Okay,
But
so-
I would love to see Ja Morant, Zion Williamson,
LeBron and Giannis.
get a shot at it.
Cool. None of them are in it. Here's the 4 people in the dunk contest. Dwight Howard,
Yep.
who is old. Aaron Gordon,
Yep.
which...
He had a pretty good one a couple of years ago.
He had a good year, but I mean... Pat Connaughton.
I don't even know who that is.
He is a player on the Bucks. And he is
And he
going
was chosen on the Bucks.
And he is chosen. He's going to be in this year's dunk contest.
I'm sorry, who? I mean, again, no idea who this man is.
Exactly. And
Could you please, as a Bucks fan, just
okay.
give
And
us...
by the way, the other one is Derrick Jones Jr. on the Heat.
Mhm.
But the reason why I chose Pat Connaughton is because Connaughton played the first couple years of the Trailblazers, and now he is the 6th man on the Bucks. He has a 48-inch vertical and a 39.5 standing vertical. He is a great dunker. He doesn't play a lot of minutes because he's not good on defense.
Yeah, like I said, no idea. who
But
this
like,
man is.
I love Pat Connaughton, and I'm so excited to watch him in the dunk contest just because I'm a Bucks fan. But they gotta get bigger names. Nobody knows who Pat Connaughton is.
Yeah.
I bet you no one watching this knows who Pat Connaughton is. It's upsetting, but it's whatever. So we are gonna move on to our picks. Once again, who is the most smartest sports person? Is it you?
Sports ball.
Sports ball. Well, last week, Wyatt, congratulations. Not only did you pick the Super Bowl champion, the Kansas City Chiefs, you went 3-2. I went 1-4.
Yes.
Maybe it's because I picked the Pelicans to beat the Rock. Maybe it's because I picked the Pelicans to beat the
You
Rockets.
just let your Zion boner just take...
They almost won the
control you
game.
too
They
much.
almost won. And now into the picks. Our first game, Thursday, February 6th. It's the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference. The 76ers versus the Milwaukee Bucks, 8 p.m. on TNT.
Ben Simmons calling the 76ers soft. It seems like everything around that organization is just kind of freaking out right now. Joel Embiid is still... He's returning, but he's kind of messing up the lineup flow a little bit.
Can I just make a bold prediction? I don't think Simmons and Embiid like each other. And they're
I-
both locked into 5-year deals. Good luck, Philadelphia! Thank you for destroying your amazing tank that you did to get those players.
Especially and have Jimmy Butler come in and absolutely destroy you guys after trading him to fucking Miami. Why? would you
Alright,
do
Bucks.
that?
I'm taking Bucks by a million.
Bucks. I mean, it just. Last time I said by a million, Lakers lost to the Trailblazers.
That's true.
But
Quick note.
I'll just take the Bucks.
Quick note, does anyone in the East compete with the Bucks right now?
No, not that I can see.
Second game of that actual doubleheader after the Bucks Sixers, it's going to be the Rockets versus Los Angeles Lakers on TNT at 10:30. Lakers lost that game against the Trailblazers in the Kobe tribute.
Yeah.
Will they do better this time?
I have the Rockets. I just think that in their last couple of games, they're just finding a better way to play. Clint Capella is still out. Russell Westbrook is going to be day-to-day, but you got James Harden back. And then, of course, they played Dallas. They played Portland. They lost to Portland as well, but not as badly, in my opinion, just by the way they played, not necessarily the score. And then, of course, Dallas, good win right there. The Lakers just lost. I'm looking here. They lost to the 76ers.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the 25th of January.
Well, sometimes.
I mean, just.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm taking the Rockets. I just think that their 3-point ability is going to be able to make them spread the floor a little more. They're not going to attack inside too crazily, and they'll just be able to spread them out.
Sometimes it's best not to overthink it. Who's going to guard Anthony Davis and LeBron?
It's not gonna be Capella, so it's probably gonna have to be Gordon, right?
I'm going to take the Lakers because I don't think anyone can guard LeBron and AD.
I just think that the Rockets are gonna be able to just keep like outscoring them like beforehand.
Oh, no, for sure. And then moving on to our third game on Friday the 7th on ESPN, we have another good East game. The Raptors going to Indiana to face the Pacers.
Yeah, Oladipo coming back, so that's great news for Indiana finally. And then the Raptors, they're trying to go for a franchise record. I believe it's 12th or 25th straight win.
It's going to be 12.
Yeah, 12
and
straight.
And it's really interesting because they're doing this without Kawhi. They almost are a different team without Kawhi, and they're not better and they're not worse.
Well, I mean, Siakam's doing great for him. Kyle Lowry, of course. Lowry is, the Toronto Raptor, so he's still continuing where he's been doing good. Ibaka is doing great for them as well. I mean, this was a team that competed for division championships while LeBron was here, and LeBron would destroy them. Adding Kawhi made them a championship team. Now they're just back to contending for more championships. Just maybe not as certain as you did with Kawhi.
Are you taking the Raptors then?
Yeah, I'm taking the Raptors.
Okay, I'm taking the Pacers because I'm going to make it the same thing. I think Brogdon and Oladipo could be one of the best guard tandems in the league. That was Sabonis. I think they're just a really good defensive team. And I think those guards I could see both those guards combining for 50 points that night. 50. I'm gonna make that bet.
Okay.
All right. Our fourth game, it's going to be the Jazz versus the Trailblazers. This is another one of those games where you got the Jazz coming off a tough loss against the Nuggets. And you have the Trailblazers who, all of a sudden, Damian Lillard is really, really good now.
Damian Lillard has always been really, really good. He's been putting on a show all throughout his career. Part of it has been just we haven't been paying attention too much, but he's just been on a tear. He's been doing fantastic, 29.8 points per game. Whiteside, and then of course Damian Lillard is also leading him with assists with 7.9 a game. I mean, it's just Dame time.
Let me ask you this: is he the MVP right now? He has 45.5 points the last 6 games. Is he? You look at Giannis, you look at Harden, LeBron, Damian Lillard. Is he currently the MVP of the league, even if the Trailblazers aren't in the playoffs right now?
I'm trying to think right now. I'm trying to look at some stats just to get a quick glance.
Okay.
I mean, he's been playing fantastic. You can't deny that at all. MVP though, I think he's in the running. I don't think he's put himself in the lead yet.
We might be having that conversation next week.
Probably.
For All-Star game.
But I just don't, I think right now they're all still kind of like in the same, just like if you start right out of the gate in a horse race, everyone's still pretty close together. I don't think anyone is really separated yet.
But who are you taking in this game?
I'm going to take the Trailblazers just because it's Dame time.
I'm going to take the Jazz because I picked against the Jazz last week and it burned me. So I'm going to take the Jazz. And the final game of the week, it's going to be the Celtics versus the Thunder. The Thunder, who are a team where we all thought they were going to compete for the number 1 pick. Now they have the chance to make the playoffs with a good seed.
Chris Paul has been actually a great addition to this team. I mean, I thought when it's kind of like, oh man, like this is going to suck. He's not going to be that into it, He's going to be pretty mad that he had such a situation with the Rockets and now he's here with the Thunder. But he's embraced it fully. They've gone on a tear. They're doing a really good job. This is a Celtics team, though, that with Kemba Walker has been playing phenomenally.
But he's running to the brick wall of Chris Paul. And I think if Kemba doesn't score 20 points, the Celtics will lose almost every single one of those games.
Yeah.
They rely on Kemba Walker scoring very, very much. So I'm going to take the Thunder. I like Chris Paul. I like Steven Adams. I like the group they're building there.
Mm-hmm.
They could be one of those teams that beats a Rockets or a Jazz team in the first round, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Thunder, just because I think, again, more offensive firepower there. I think they'll be able to score more than the Celtics. And again, if you just focus on Kemba and lock him down, who are you going to next to really get that
with that fury and that flutter of points.
Isn't it going to be great when the Thunder beat the Clippers in the first round and then the Pelicans beat the Lakers in the first round?
Again.
Isn't that gonna be great?
No, because you're still chasing that pipe dream.
It's gonna happen. Zion's gonna win the MVP and the NBA champion in his first year.
And this is why I win smart ball picks most times. Well, anyways, guys, that was our show today. Thank you all for watching our 6th episode of Small Talk Sports. I'm Wyatt Wells. He's Logan Windsor. Y'all have a great rest of your week, all right?